Hello everyone, Daisy here with another layout for SpiegelMom Scraps. Today I am doing this layout also for some of the National Scrapbooking Day challenges that were going on over at Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine, and this one was inspired by their birthday challenge. I believe their challenges are open until either the 11th or the 15th, so if you want to play along you still have a few days. But I'm using this cut file from Paige Evans, and I cut it out first out of this white cardstock that I'm using as my background. And so I kept the outer portion of this as well as all of the little pieces that go in between the letters. I think there's a total of 3 of them. And I'm going to pop these up on some fun foam because ultimately I'm making a big shaker pocket. So the second time I cut it out was in that rainbow paper you see there, and I just kind of did the outline because I wanted all of the letters to be together as one. And then I cut it out a third time out of some black cardstock, and that one I did the offset function to make the lines a little bit chunkier because that's going to be kind of the topper of my shaker pocket, and you'll see here what I mean. First I'm working on placing down my fun foam, and I wasn't originally going to make this into a shaker. I was just going to make it into a faux shaker. So if a shaker pocket is something that is not interesting to you to make, or if it just seems too hard, or if you just don't have time for it, you can make a faux shaker pocket by basically popping up your pocket, and I'm doing air quotes even though you can't see it, around the pocket. And then instead of putting the acetate over the top, all you do is you use some glue or glue dots or whatever you use and adhere some sequins down in kind of a random manner to make it look like they're shaking. So just if you're looking for a different way of doing it and you don't want like that interactive portion, or if you just don't have time, because this can sometimes be a little time consuming. So anyway, I was going to do a faux shaker pocket and I changed my mind, so then I had to fill in all the little holes in the craft foam to make sure that the sequins wouldn't escape anywhere. And then I'm just adhering that down, and I just use a scrap piece of black cardstock to put that rainbow paper on and to kind of create the back of my pocket. And now I'm putting in these inside pieces that go in between the letters, and I also popped these up on fun foam as well. And when I say fun foam, I mean it's not, I don't think it's actually called that. It's adhesive backed craft foam, and I get it from Walmart in the kids art section. And I think I pay $5 and I get like 40 pieces of it, and it already has adhesive on it, and it's my favorite foam. I don't know why I call it fun foam. Maybe that's the brand, I'm not sure, but anyhow. So now I'm making I'm using this page protector to create the shaker top. And so I traced around that black happy birthday cut file piece, and now I'm just going to fussy cut this out. And I did use a slick writer so it doesn't smear all over the place. And I'm just cutting inside that line because I don't want the plastic to stick out. And in the end it does actually end up sticking out in a few places, and if I had been thinking, I would have actually used my silhouette to cut this. It would have been way easier. This was not a hard image to cut around by any means, but if you watch my video, you know I don't like fussy cutting, so yeah, it would have been easier to let the machine do the work for me. But I'm just cutting around here. So while I'm doing that, I want to talk a little bit about what SpiegelMom Scraps is doing for National Scrapbooking Day. We're actually turning it into a month-long layout rally. So if you head over to the Spread the Sparkle Facebook group, you can find different albums available, and they have different titles on them. And what you can do is any layout that you create this month, whether it's for a different challenge or for a different site or just something you create for fun, find one of those categories that your layout will fit into and enter it. You can only enter it one time, but you can enter as many layouts as you would like. And what will happen is at the end of the month, they're going to be drawing for some great prizes. I think there's a couple of gift cards to the shop and maybe a couple other things. And also you have the chance of being featured in our Sunday Sparkler, which is the email newsletter that comes out on Sundays. And if you haven't already gone and signed up for it, you definitely should take a look at that, because you get a free cut file. There are tips from sparklers, there's fan features, and then there's also occasionally we do bios or other information. And it's also how you learn first when the pre-orders are going to be coming out, or if there's going to be any special orders. So you don't want to miss out on it. So now that I'm done trimming around that, I am just going to use my Tombow Mono Multi and glue that down. And one tip that I have is when you're pressing the glue down, if you press it away from the center of your letter. So basically, if the glue is going to spill out, you don't want it to cause a little, smudge in your shaker pocket. Press it so that the glue goes to the outside of the letter, and that way it'll leak out instead of in, and you won't end up with that little smudge on your acetate or page protector or whatever it is you use to create your shaker pockets. Because I find that like the most frustrating when you finally get it lined up perfectly and then you end up with like a big smush of glue in there, and it's almost impossible to get out. So now I'm using this sequin mix, which is the Colorful Motley, and this is one of my favorites. This is so perfect for celebrating any celebration really, but definitely birthdays. It reminds me of like the 80s or early 90s kind of graphics, and I just love it so much. So I just used the rest of what I had and dumped it into my little shaker well, and now I am going around just the outside of the letters. I don't have, it only needs to adhere to the very edge of the paper, so I am carefully applying my glue and then putting this down, making sure that all of the areas are covered. And it works beautifully. I am so happy with this. And now I'm just going around the outside edge of the paper. I do wish I had kept a few of the sequins out so that I could spread them around the page a little bit more, but I've already used this one a couple of times, and so I wanted to put everything I had left in that shaker pocket. So now I'm pulling out this chipboard sheet, and this is from the Crepe Paper Hooray collection. And I knew I wanted to use those balloons because I love them. And so I'm adding the balloons and a cake and that little happy word and this little banner that says hooray for cake. And I'm really just trying to get anything on this page. So I'm just trying things out here, and I am using a little piece because I was layering those two pieces of chipboard together. I'm using a little corner of the chipboard sheet itself to help raise that banner up to the same height as the cake. And yeah, I don't think you're going to see the photo on here because I was having some issues with my printer, but you'll see close-ups at the end. I have two photos of my daughter when she turned 13, and she has a cheesecake instead of a cake because she enjoys not normal birthday celebration food, I guess, because she usually has pie, but this time she wanted a cheesecake, so yeah. But yeah, I want to thank you so much for watching. Like I said, head on over to the Spread the Sparkle Facebook group. There will be a link down below for that. And don't forget, you can use my code DAISY15 for 15% off your next purchase in the shop. It does not work on the pre-releases, but everything else it does. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.